Hi Pickleballers and Pickle Techie community. Today, we're examining two standout paddles from Neonic, one of my favorite brands out there. They are redefining value in pickleball. The Flow Prime X and the Flare Prime X. Before we dive in, let's be transparent. While Neonic provided these paddles for review, they have no input on our content or conclusions. We've spent extensive time testing these paddles in various play situations to ensure our assessment is thorough and unbiased. Also, we've played with these paddles in tournaments from 3.0 all the way to 4.0. What makes these paddles particularly interesting is how they deliver premium performance at a mid-range price point, both retailing at $139 with an additional 10% off using the code PickleTechie at neonicpickleball.com. In fact, I've been so impressed with their performance that I've purchased additional units for my personal use. Let's start with the technical specification that unite these paddles. Both feature Neonic's signature carbon fiber, fiberglass, carbon fiber layup in a thermoformed unibody construction with foam injected edges. This advanced construction method typically appears in paddles costing significantly more, yet Neonic has made it accessible without compromising quality. Starting with the Flow Prime X. This 16mm paddle delivers remarkably consistent performance across all aspects of play. At 113 swing weight, 6.3 twist weight, hovering about 8 ounces static weight, it sits firmly in the all-court category. The elongated shape, although it is a hybrid when you overall measure it, a 16.25 inches with a 7.4 inch width, flaring to 7.6 inches, provides excitement reach while maintaining maneuverability. What truly sets this paddle apart is its ability to rival the J2K in the all-court category, offering comparable performance at significantly and maybe a tad bit lower price. Passing it to Jermaine and Ryan for their perspective on the Flow Prime X.
Man, this was a great paddle to use. I really enjoyed it a lot. It had the power I wanted. It had the control I wanted. Just playing with it gave me a lot of joy. It was pretty easy to use on my forehand, my backhand. My dinks were a little bit hard to use. I had to actually put more effort into my dinks. But I actually like that, so it's not a big problem for me. Sometimes I don't like a paddle that does all the dinking for me. I want to feel like I'm engaged in my dinking myself. The resets were a little bit hard, only because the sweet spot is a little bit smaller on the Neonic. It's not as big as most sweet spots, but it's still, anytime you hit it with the forehand and backhand, it was sending the ball flying. So you won't have any complaints about that. Overall, compared to my best paddles that I use right now, the Rhombus, it's still not compared to the Rhombus. The Rhombus has more power. I think the Rhombus has more control as well. But to be honest, it's up there with it. One of the better paddles that I've used recently. So go check it out. I'm your boy, Jermaine. Stay tuned to the next one.
What's up, Pickle Techie community? This is Ryan, and I'm here with the Neonic Flow Prime X. This is a really good paddle for power. It's pretty strong and poppy. From the baseline, on my drives and serves, I had a lot of control and power. It's a 16mm paddle, but to me it felt really poppy because of the fiberglass. It felt a bit stiffer than most 16mm paddles that I've used, like the Mach 1 Forza, which is the paddle that I normally play with. The Flow Prime, to me, as I started to move up from the baseline, my drives and serves are really strong. As I got to the transition zone, I felt a little bit less consistent. This felt really poppy and maneuverable, but after a while I did get used to it. I ended up playing a tournament, a mixed tournament with this, and I did feel comfortable on my drives, on my resets, in the transition zone. Moving up to the kitchen, I felt like this was pretty strong with control on the dinks. I felt like I was able to place the ball where I wanted to. I've also recently been playing with a Spartus Olympus, which is a Gen 3 paddle. I normally don't like Gen 3 paddles, but with that paddle I felt like it was very consistent with the amount of power that I gave it. So if I was to swing through more and just make better contact with the ball, it would be more forgiving and the sweet spot would get bigger. To me, it's with the Neonic Flow Prime, I felt like it was almost the opposite, where I kind of needed to focus and make sure I was making better contact for it to really connect with the sweet spot. But sometimes if I was swinging through and I was less careful, I didn't feel like the contact was clean and the sweet spot just wasn't connecting enough for me there. My volleys and overheads were really strong with this paddle, and I felt like most putaways, anything high, I was really able to swing through with control still. It was really fun to play with because it's also really maneuverable. I felt like surprised that I had some control from the 16 millimeters, but I had a lot of pop because it felt like a 14 millimeter paddle. Overall, I think this would be a really fun paddle to play with. I would just need to get a little bit more used to the sweet spot and the consistency, but yeah, the Neonic Flow Prime X.
Now, let's talk about the Flare Prime X. This paddle has earned its place in my top 3 paddles alongside the Carbon True Foam Genesis 1 and the Carbon True Foam Genesis 2. At 105 swing weight, 6.6 twist weight, and just 7.5 static weight ounce, this paddle demonstrates how lightweight design can still deliver impressive power. The 14mm core thickness combined with the foam injected edge creates an enhanced sweet spot that's particularly noticeable during aggressive gameplay. What's fascinating about the Flare Prime X is its versatility through customization. By adding 7 grams weight at the 3 and 9 o'clock position, this paddle transformed from an all-court paddle leaning power into a legitimate power paddle surpassing even the ESQ 14.3 millimeters in terms of baseline performance. The thermoformed construction ensures this power comes with exceptional consistency across the paddle's face. Passing it to Henry, who played with this paddle very consistently from testing all the way to tournament.
What's up, Pickletech community? It's Henry here. Today I'm reviewing the Neonic Carbon Fiberglass Flare Prime X 14mm. And this is my first wide body paddle. I've used hybrid and I've also used elongated. It's a new experience for me, personally, with the fiberglass, the wide body, and also the 14mm. With the other paddles, I've been using 16, and this is my first 14 as well. I would say it's just a different level of pop I've really never felt before, honestly, in a paddle. It's honestly like a little too much at some points. With kills and stuff, I body bagged a couple people a little too hard, but the difference for me was the sweet spot. The sweet spot's huge in this one. I could really hit it in any spot and it'll go where I want it to go. My serves with this paddle, it's better than with the roar that I had in the Volair Mach 1 Forza. I'm noticing I'm hitting a lot of deeper shots with my serves and my returns. It's just easier. The paddle's doing more work for me with this paddle. Resets and dinks. Honestly, resets were my favorite part with this paddle. It's so fun to reset. If I wanted to go right over the net and go perfectly in the kitchen, it's perfect. I mean, it goes wherever I want it to go on the resets. Off the paddle, the dinks, the spin, the aggressive dinks that I'm portraying, it's going wherever I want it to go. Hand battles and flicks, honestly, like my flicks, I'm getting more with this paddle than I got with the Roar and the Mach 1 Forza with my flicks. It's just really like, my placement is just crazy with this paddle. It took me a little while to adapt, couple hours, maybe a day or two. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this paddle. The pop is just amazing. Really everything with this paddle is just so much different than what I've used in the past. I truly do recommend anybody this paddle in any level. In rec play, tournament play, I really do recommend this paddle. I'm gonna definitely look into getting one for myself because I really do like this paddle. Maybe I'll adapt to the wide body and I'll start using that one because of this paddle. I don't know, it's different. I love it a lot.
One aspect that deserves special mention is Neonic's commitment to community feedback. The updated improved grit, if you guys can hear that, and enhanced handle, very firm handle, and solid feel is a direct response to players' input. This attention to user experience shows in very aspects of the paddle's performance and improvements. These paddles are particularly well suited for players who are seeking premium performance without the premium pricing. Players transitioning from other racket sports, as always, and anyone looking for consistent, reliable performance both on the paddle and reliability on the brand itself. Consider this carefully if you do not care about price per performance, but you just care about having the best of something. If you prefer ultra stiff paddles, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you like softer handles, maybe this isn't for you. Both paddle comes with covers and Neonic excellent 1-year warranty plus 30 days money back guarantee. $140 with an additional 10% off using code PickleTechie. These paddles represent exceptional value in today's market. Also, these paddles are available at Kinetic Racket Sports here in Glendora, California. Check them out and visit them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the court.